it down to low quality to try and keep it on.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey,
how you doing that?
Long
if it cuts out halfway through, I will record the matches anyway and I'll upload them overnight and have them available in better quality.
What?
Okay, no problem.
It feels like fucking 10 mans, jeez.
I swear, Aspect is good guy.
Yeah, there's always the same people and 10 mans.
He's good guy EU.
Yes, I remember when I was with Ops and I played Buck and Lemon always like,
I like your playstyle.
Shut up, jongen.
Ach jongen, kom hier jongen, hey, ik kan nog eens kennen
Patty, you remember me?
Just wanted to say my name.
Man, wie herinnert u gast?
Jawel jongen, we hebben samen nog hier die de voorkeur naar huis genoemd.
Who the fuck are you?
Ah ja, dat is het.
What?
Yo, Membury, I'm gonna do my kitchen big brain play again.
Again? I haven't seen you guys play Villa yet, I don't think. Have I watched you guys play Villa? I haven't casted any Villa, I don't think.
Is getting destroyed.
No, it was in NBT you did it. It was in NBT did it, not with you, sorry Membury.
I was gonna say.
But it was big brain, believe me.
It was big brain. You can see, if you see something odd, you need to zoom it in, okay?
You need to zoom it in. If you see a Mira on our kitchen defense, follow the Mira.
Okay, Membury? Good Membury-DC.
Ja,
Ik
sorry,
weet dat nu
what?
al, die enemies gaan Mira bannen en ik weet dat nu al hè.
Don't ban Mira, please.
Don't ban Mira.
We abuse Mira.
Gentleman's agreement not to ban Mira.
Yeah, don't ban Mira, please.
Or Monty or Ying or Jack or...
Yeah,
please don't ban Ash.
Don't ban Ash, please.
Don't ban
if you ban Ash, I'm literally not in an attack.
Dokapi, don't ban
Ash.
Any one of them. Yeah.
Don't worry guys, we ban Ash and Jaeger, okay?
Expertise, say aspect hello.
We ban Mike then, okay?
What?
Hey, where is Kevin? Say to expect hello.
Or just get him in the fucking game.
Hey.
Jeez. Oh,
finally, 5-year-old is here.
Don't start, bro. One of our teammates is taking a dump. Yes, bro.
Hey man, I remember in ESL that I like stalled 40 minutes because I only said one of my teammates is on the shitter, and the admin believed me. We got 40 minutes to.
Oh, trust me, man.
Hey,
it's me, man. What? I'm in the toilet right now, fam.
Okay, can you start, please? We already waited an hour for you,
no, not for me, for you.
Hey, we waited for you, bro. We had to restart the bands because you lot didn't want to play.
Is toxic,
no,
ignore
I
him.
was.
Yeah, no shots on consulate.
No,
so
you
you restarted.
Which team am I waiting
shots on consulate, so you
maybe
so we got
us, ViZN, orange team.
Who is it who's not here?
Quiet. Let me talk.
Who is it who's not here?
I don't know which one. I just know one of them. I just heard them in the main game show.
We play attack 2 times. Okay. How your chicky with my dick moving,
fucking theme park, we had no strats on it.
Is that toxicity?
Fucking
no.
Wow.
What toxicity? What?
It's fine, you win without strats. You're all diamond, we're all flat.
Yes.
Oh shit. Who the fuck says toxic? Who's being toxic?
Hey,
who said who's toxic? What?
Je hebt gisteren toch gezien in die groepchat van Laptop dat ik rood kutje stuurde?
Ja?
Weet je van waar dat komt?
English
or een rood kapje. Dan moet je doodkutje sturen, hè?
Nee, weet je, dat we een team aan veranderen dat voor
is he done with shit?
Is that toxicity?
Which toxicity?
Red pussy, yeah? You know?
Helix, you here?
Oh,
Helix,
no.
Aspect, you here?
Yeah.
Cool, are you guys good to go?
Aspect,
you can start
it's
from
here, taking the shit.
Bam.
Everyone's talking, I can't tell who's not here.
We're gonna get destroyed. Just
Who is asking to start? Expert, are you good to start?
We are gonna get destroyed, Zeri.
Well, no, we're waiting for someone taking shit.
Okay.
No, I'm oh my god.
Did you just say?
I'm gonna start the game as soon as Expert thinks that he's ready to go.
We are gonna get destroyed. I don't want that.
Locked up
You
is
are gonna get destroyed.
Yes,
I
we're gonna
don't want to get
destroyed.
destroyed because I know we're gonna
Why
get
KM? KM, my ear.
Okay,
just
okay.
first so we
okay,
can get destroyed and can lose.
KM, my ear.
Ja,
Yo, ja.
ga je mute, gast.
Ah, wel, Natix, wij hadden onze teamnaam van Keizer veranderen naar voor Jorik Rood Kutje. Zou dat opvallen?
Nee, eigenlijk niet.
Are you Dutch?
Yes. Yo, what are we waiting for?
Dat
said
jij niet
you guys.
jongens?
KM's back! You can start.
Can
Cool.
we start?
Okay, yeah.
Come on.
I'm gonna start. Cool. Have fun, guys.
Oh, no, don't start. Oh, problem.
Okay, cool. So we are live with Team Vision versus Locked Up. When it loads in. So we've actually got Team Locked Up on attack with Moon, Zeri, Hades, Natix and Gunner. And then on the defense we've got Vision, we've got Aspect, KM. I'll work that one out in a minute. Rash and Experty. IQ main? I don't know. I'm just going to call him Ick. Thatcher Band coming out from Vision. And Locked Up banning out the Jackal, which I think they asked for that not to get banned, so that's a little bit cheeky of them. There was a gentleman's agreement not to ban the mirror, so let's see if one of these teams breaks that. The Legion gets banned. I've seen Locked Up actually ban out the Jackal Legion quite a few times. It seems like they're default bans at this point, which is, I think, plays a little bit into the fact that they run a Monty quite often, obviously for the Legion ban. And I suppose, I'm not so sure about the Jackal ban. I suppose maybe they view themselves as quite a roam heavy team. And the Gentleman's Agreement gets broken with the mirror ban. Luckily no rage quits being caused by that. I've got 3 people watching at the moment. Leave your comments, leave your predictions down. So going into this, Locked Up, from what I've seen, are definitely one of the top teams in the league. Vision, I think, definitely have a potential to do so. I think they've been memeing around in a couple of games, and I think they've not shown their full potential. I think if they take this seriously, it will be a very even game. The Mute Mozzie combo coming out from Vision, mixed in with a Castle and a Pulse, a double UMP combo. They've actually gone to Kitchen first, so maybe they're very confident in their kitchen setup here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I think this is my first time casting Villa, so very large map, quite a lot to spectate, it's going to be fun. Interesting reinforcement setup here. I'm wondering if they're investing very much into the top floor. By the looks of it, no. They're actually reinforcing the hatch, so potentially they're just going to sit below with the C4s and just use the Mute C4, Mozzie C4 and the Pulse C4 and just use that to try and hold vertical, which then offers them a lot of reinforcement to use downstairs and keep the site protected.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
There's no vigil, so no full drone denial coming out here, but with that said, Locked Up, I've got the operators where you don't necessarily need to drone as much. You can face check with a Monty and the Blackbeard a lot more than other operators. So if you're here, going early to get this castle barricade off makes a lot of sense, and now Moon's just going to sit here and just hold this angle. I've seen Moon do similar plays on border, and it really is a nuisance. So, yeah, as predicted, Vision pretty much roaming horizontally and not really holding top floor at all. And the attackers here actually planting already. Very early planting here. Let's see if the C4 gets a double kill. It gets the first. Hades survives it, but bit of a cheap plant coming out there from Locked Up. I'm surprised to see them go for that so soon.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Attackers recovered.
There's one C4 off the board. I think they've still got... Yeah, they've got 2 in play. The team kill coming out from Locked Up. Moon has been sat on this angle, presumably the entire round. He's just got the down onto KM, but so far the only down was Rash from Vision, and he's been picked up, so 3v5 here. KM does get picked up. Moon just sat on this angle. I think he's got to go make a play at some point. Pro Gunner has actually got a kill, so he's opened this up a little bit for his team here, but with the Monty combo, they've lost their protection to get this plant down. I'm not sure I like the fact that Moon is still hard stuck on this angle. He's lost both of his drones, and okay, he's a Blackbeard and he's not going to die on this angle, but he's also not going to make a play. At least puts a lot of pressure on Zeri to make a movement into sight, whereas Pro Hard Gunner's got the diffuser, he can't do much either. So Zeri does actually kill the pulse, so ooh, almost, he downs the Mozzie as well by the looks of it, so almost a double kill coming up from him here. I'm not sure if he's aware that he's down the Mozzie. They have lost the diffuser, so Moon finally on the move here, completely unaware of the shotgun next to him. Who... Oh, sorry, that was actually the Jaeger next to him. And just like that, Vision taking the first round with a convincing sight hold. I gotta say, I don't think that was the best attack from Locked Up. They didn't make any attempt for vertical pressure, and the plant was a little bit cheap, going in against a load of C4s. I think they can do better than that. We'll see how it pans out throughout the rest of the match. Good decision from Vision to go down to the kitchen first. They are actually going to trophy, so AVG not on their list to start off. I doubt we'll see any living room, so it will presumably be their third site. I'm intrigued to see what Moon does with the Blackbeard. I'm assuming he's going to sit on Astro Repel for quite a lot of this round. He loves just picking up one of those positions and just sitting on it. I just wonder if it costs his team a little bit of drone work occasionally, if he's not able to come off. I assume he sets up flank drones before going onto his angles, but it does unfortunately look like a couple of players are suffering a little bit of ping issues. I'm not sure how the servers have been the last couple of days. So once again, the Mute Mozzie combo coming out. Vision here running a lot of 2 armor, 2 speed operators. No anchors coming out. There's no Maestro on the board. There's no Echo on the board. Obviously the Jaeger, Ella. The Jaeger's 2-2 as well. So just for 1 3 speed actually coming out.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
They have set up here to hold the entirety of the AVG side of the map.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Locked Up here. We got the one guy spawning over on this AVG ruin side. He's going to have a very tough time actually getting into study. Looks like he's actually heading around to trophy entrance. Could be the play. And yeah, Moon, pretty much as I expected, just going straight onto this Astro Repel. Checking the ADS, actually spotting 1 and burning the first of the 2 charges. And they have descended into this full bedroom take, having actually had a couple of people spawn on the other side of the map, so this could work out well for them. There's no impact trick coming up on Vision side. Jaeger getting aggressive. There's actually no Astro rotate here, which potentially makes Moon's life a little bit harder. And all of them just tucked up near site. Only the Mozzie really on his own over by AVG, but nobody over here pressuring him. I'm assuming that they are aware of this Mozzie by the angles that they're holding. Locked Up here playing very static, holding a lot of angles. I'm just concerned that they don't have enough movement to be able to actually get into. With that said, the Thermite has managed to breach a wall, so the Mute Jammer's not doing their trick there. I'm not sure how they actually got the Mute Jammers off the wall, because the Thatcher is banned. I'm assuming they went below. Perhaps Sophia used the utility to get it for you. I'm not sure if the Thermite must be aware that the L is playing around there. Possibly the most aggressive play here, as the Mozzie is the first person to get killed by the Habana. Hades is actually playing below. He hasn't used any of his utility yet. Playing perhaps more of a frag role on this Habana at the moment. Natix here has been sat on the site breaches and the door for a good minute or so, just waiting to see if he can make a play. But again, I don't think they've got the intel to break down this relatively site-heavy hold. It is a 4-4. That is actually in sight now, so it looks like he's about to go for the plant. I'm not sure that ViZN are fully able to counter this. The C4s are coming out. It does actually injure the thermites. The plant is denied for now. Only 3 people up for locked up. An expert there with an absolute flurry of kills. IQ, or Ick, as I decided to call him, getting 1 as well. And not a good start here for locked up, who they did a good job of breaching the bedroom wall here, but they just didn't seem to be able to get into sight, and they didn't have a fragger to actually push through the entrances. And I wonder if they're just taking the time now to actually go and talk about the round and plan ahead for the changes they need to make.
Operators, you are out of time.
2-0 here for ViZN. So let's see if we see a VG or if we go down to living room. As expected, living room is the rejected site. I think it's just a bit too easy to take control of the piano and main entrance side of it and just force open that wall and get the plant down. We do actually see a smoke coming out, so finally a more traditional anchor coming out from ViZN. Still no Echo Maestro combos, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I casted a game the other day where Echo was left in play, and he seems to be completely forgotten about at the moment. Which is a shame, because he's got a fantastic gun and fantastic utility, but teams just preferring to take the 2-2 kind of what I like to refer to as the C4 operators. People like Mute, Mozzie, Valkyrie. I don't know what it is about them. In some ways I consider them fairly ranked based operators. They're fairly easy to use utility. You just kind of throw down your Valk cams, you throw down your Mozzie Pest, and you kind of forget about them. Whereas people playing Echo have to constantly be worrying about staying alive to make the most out of the Yokais. Valkyrie, you can go spawn peek, die, and then the rest of the round you can make call-outs, and it doesn't really do any harm to your team, so unless you get a lot more aggressive. And again,
10 seconds remaining.
ViZN not doing anything particularly novel or
5 seconds left.
creative, but playing a fairly standard roam across the other side of the map with reinforcements, and presumably some of the Mozzie's pest place over on the side of the map, which is, I think, obviously it's been working for them so far with the 2 rounds that they have played. These horizontal roams not really getting challenged by Locked Up, who seems to prefer just pushing straight into sight. I'm assuming that ViZN have picked up on this. And I think we're about to see Moon's 3rd spot of the entire game, which is on this 90 rappel. So if you ever wondered what Moon does, he sits on 1 of 3 angles depending on what your site is. Smoke here on the main stairs, playing with the shield. I don't know if he's got an ADS actually protecting him, so this could be fairly easy to get rid of, although Locked Up not running any nades. And that is Zeri, the Havana, getting picked off there by Ick. And this roam again, actually very heavy this time. There's 3 of them over there, and only expert left on site is the bandit. I'm not sure if the attackers are aware of this. They could actually just push into site really quickly with this, especially with this rotate by bookshelves left open. But no interest coming out from the attackers and getting straight into site. Expert just peeking out into the breach a little bit. Playing a risky game here, as the attacker is definitely aware of his presence. And now the Jaeger has been detected by this thermite, who swings in and gets the kill onto him. I'm not sure if he's aware of this other player, just tucked down by the rotate. And that is Natix getting another kill in sight here as a thermite. He doesn't actually have a diffuser, I don't think. Can't I? Oh, diffuser's actually down, sorry. So the diffuser is not in a position to get planted.
Attackers recovered the
Rash
diffuser.
and Aspect on the retake here. Aspect playing a dangerous game, peeking into the Blackbeard on the Astro Repel, 90 Repel, sorry. And it's now all down to just Aspect in this 1v4 situation. Does get the 1 kill. 1v3 situation with Blackbeard left on the board, not ideal. I'm surprised that even this far into the round, Moon still seems to be on 90 Repel. And Locked Up finally get their first round on the board. Good round there from Pro Gunner. And Natix as well, pushing into site, getting a couple of kills. It was very well done from them. Now, 2-1 so far. I'll be intrigued to see if they go back to AVG or if they do go back to Kitchen. So this is going fairly as expected on Villa. The risk with starting Kitchen, in my opinion, is that once you've shown off your first strat for it, it can become a little bit obvious how you like to play it. It'll be intriguing to see if Locked Up tries to just push into site again. It does look like they've dropped for Monty for now. So we're seeing more or less the same strat coming out. They've dropped the Pulse for the they've dropped the Mozzie for the Ella for the bottom floor. So perhaps not as much emphasis on the C4s. But I think Locked Up's attack was too shallow to really get into sight last time, and if they don't change something, I don't see them taking this round.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It certainly looks like they're setting this up in the same way. Maybe just deciding that 3 C4s was too much and just wanting to have a little bit of fun running around on Miela. Scoreboard's fairly even for the most part. Ick and Pro Hard Gunner are racking up the kills so far. Aspect and Expert kind of backing up the fragging potential on the Vision side at the moment. Again, we don't see any reinforcements on walls upstairs, only the hatch reinforced to keep the drop into laundry safe. I'm intrigued to see if Moon goes back to the same angle, because although I can see the use of this angle, I think sitting on it for the whole round is a bit of a waste. And they are using their utility to get this castle straight off the board, and I'm not sure that that's a... In fact, they're not going to be able to get rid of it unless they use the Habana pellets on it, which makes sense. Locked Up really don't play into the 20-second meta. They don't run an Ash Sophia or any nades. So a Maestro here against them could really do a lot of harm.
Attackers have located a bomb.
And Locked Up's attacks are just so slow-paced. I'm really quite surprised with the way that they're picking to get into this a second time, just going through this wall in laundry, and whilst they're opening the breach, they're not opening enough aspects of the map to actually make any entrance into sight. I think they have got more vertical pressure this time than last time, so as I say that, they potentially could get the vertical angles onto the anchors here. The Jaeger's got himself into a very aggressive position. Jaeger potentially able to retake the top floor control, which could be absolutely crucial. The Habana drops down into highway. She must have seen him because the call-out looks to have gone across to the IQ here. Who's just very patient here, waiting for the Jaeger to run around. Natix managed to breach for sight. He's seen the shoulder of the castle, but not able to get the kill. And rushes into sight. A little bit of a rash decision there from him. Diffuser has been dropped in this awkward laundry spot. There he there with the kill onto Rash. And the Blackbeard gets the kill. It's a 2v4 situation.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
2v3. Just for Pulse and the Jaeger left to try and retake the side. The Pulse does not have the gun to be trying this. And the plant is going down, and Ick is in completely the wrong place. He does get the kill on Habana. So 2v1, plant's gone down. This is definitely winnable. Hades is lit up. Ick's got full HP. Only a couple of shots away from turning this into a 1v1. The diffuser is in an awkward place where the attackers have got good angles. Just holding this crossfire. And it is 2-2, and that is potentially the disadvantage of going kitchen twice. a site where the attackers can work out how you like to play it and adapt. They just took the vertical pressure, they didn't overpush it, they didn't take the whole of the top floor, they just took the bedroom. And just that little bit of extra pressure can really turn Kitchen against you. They are back to trophy, so they look to be doing a full site cycle here. I gotta admit, at first, having watched that, I didn't think Locked Up were actually adapting very much, but they did just about enough top floor to throw the anchors out of position, and but actually it actually led to the roamers of Vision having to try and retake top floor, which potentially split up their crossfires more than the anchors getting pushed out of sight did. Double hard breach coming out here from Locked Up every single round, which on Villa is useful. It's not meta. I wouldn't say you see it every time. Running the double hard breach when you're not running an Ash Sophia surprises me a little bit.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I almost feel like they're using the Habana for some of the castle barricades, which puts her in almost a similar role, I suppose. But they do actually bring a Maestro this time, Vision, so those Evil Eyes are going to be a nightmare for Locked Up in the final minutes when they just don't have any utility to get rid of them. And if they're in a spot to deny the plant, they could be absolutely crucial. And even if they don't deny the plant, the intel you get from Maestro throughout the entire round, you could just set one up on this Astro wall looking at where Moon plays, and he would just be detected the entire round. I suppose you don't really need an Evil Eye to do that. Playing with a little bit of the bedroom wall open here, which they banned the Thatcher out, so I'm surprised to see the strat coming out from them. Although last time the wall did get opened fairly easily, so I'm wondering if they just think it wasn't working. Moon on his way around to his spot. And he has lost one drone. I think his second one is actually in use somewhere, which kind of answers my question earlier about whether or not he puts down flank drones. Expert here, all 3 ADSs in walking closet with him. And again, Locked Up don't run any nades, so this is an extremely useful setup where he's not going to get blinded by a flashbang, and he can just sit in here with a shotgun.
I'm reloading.
Only 2 flashbangs left on the side of Locked Up. They are not going to get rid of these ADSs. And that is nearly all of the projectiles gone. 2 Evil Eyes still up. And this, crucially, this mute just allows him to play shotgun in the walking still, although he does, with his shots here, it looks like he was lagging out a little bit. I'm not sure if that was just on my side or on his, but the attackers just brute forcing their way into bathroom and walk-in. Maestro here, holding the angle into walk-in. Hades does get injured on that IQ and drops the diffuser down.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Natix gets the kill, putting them in a slight advantage with an extra person but less HP, so fairly balanced round so far. Rash here, absolutely crucial in terms of holding down this Astro control. Aspect just opening up the other side of the site for the defenders, making sure that the attackers can't walk in safely and plant. The Jaeger here really going to struggle to get back into it with so little HP. If the site players here lose control, he is not going to stand much chance at retaking. I'm actually surprised to see him play so far off. I wonder if he's going to go for a floor bang towards the end of the round. That might push him. The Ellis sees him, but falls off the angle. Potentially wise to do so. And Plant is going down. She's going to have to try and swing inside as this Thermite just crawls along the floor. Rash denies the plant with only 10 seconds left to go. It's a tricky position here for Locked Up to get the diffuser back. Hades is now planting. Thermite is down. 2v2 situation. Plant going down at the very, very last second, and Ick now on this retake.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
And this is where his lack of HP is really going to come and hurt him. Even though one player is downed for Locked up. It doesn't seem that the defenders are aware of this. Goes for a jump out. Catches the IQ on her cams. If he can get the thermite here, then he could put it into a 1v1 situation, but taking on this Blackbeard is going to be so difficult for him.
Attackers need to protect the diffuser. Position compromised.
The attackers seem to have just left him be. They don't seem to be particularly aware of... And Moon does finish it off. I think if Ick had actually stuck that from the start, he might have been able to sneak it off, but... Locked Up have swung their way into the game, having been at 1.2-0 down. And ViZN struggling to hold on to their objectives the second time they go to them. I wonder if they'll go back to... No, they are going trophy, so AVG really off their radar. Much prefer the trophy and kitchen side. I would argue that the Mute Mozzie combo isn't very effective against a team who likes to run Blackbeard and Monty. And whilst I think the Mute's being used to protect a couple of walls, I'm surprised to see them not bring out more annoying utility like Goyo, Wamai. What you're doing with the Mute in the bathroom, you could also do with potentially back it up with a Wamai, maybe put someone else with a shotgun in there like Ella. I'm just not sure if they're making full use out of the lack of projectiles, or more specifically, the lack of explosives like grenades or Asher Sophia charges that Locked Up are failing to bring. The castle barricades are the only real thing, and that can be destroyed by the Hibana so easily that it doesn't really make much use of the disadvantage of Locked Up's lineup.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go.
I am unfortunately streaming on low quality, as I tried starting it on high quality and it did come up, but it disconnected me straight away, so I'm going to clip this at the end and I will try to re-upload it for better quality. And Moon has got frustrated by the looks of it and has resorted to just whacking this castle barricade. Presumably been waiting too long for this Hibana to come over and help him. And that C4 was so close to taking him out, but he gets away with it. I'm not sure if it's intentional here from ViZN not to open this Astro rotate, but it's actually working out in their favour, as it means that Moon isn't getting as many useful angles from his rappel as he normally would. And that is an interesting use of Hibana pellets. That is an angle I had never considered before to put this Mute in a really awkward situation. And Mute turns into a living frost mat as the drone presumably does spawn. There's actually 2 drones on him there. I'm not sure if they're caught in a Mute jammer. KM does get picked off. So does Expert as well, so Attacker's looking very strong here on their 4th round in their favour so far. Let's see if they can close this out, because it will be a convincing attacking half of them if they can get this. They are all crammed into this northeast corner of the map. Aspect below here could get an absolutely crucial C4. I'm just not sure that he's got the intel to do so. He looks like he's just guessing a little bit. This could be match defining as to whether or not he gets any kills from his C4. Ick and Rash are doing a pretty good job of just holding down the attackers who are just pinned into this northeast side. Aspect kills the Hibana, who appears to have dropped below. ViZN here have made this swing around in their favour.
Swapping mags.
Just Moon left alive, who's finally come off of his spot. He's come into a walk-in. But him and Gunner do not have much utility to work with, nor many angles. Oh, nice shot there from Moon, taking the head off of the Jaeger. And the Moon with a double kill. Aspect left in the 1v2 situation. He hears a plant going down. If he can deny the plant, he does deny the plant. All he's got to do is hide. He just needs to run away. Just throw the C4 at the right spot, and he's got this. Moon here does have to push around. He's using the Deagle, presumably for a little bit of extra ADS. Oh! Moon with the 3K and the Deagle to clutch for a round. That is absolutely crucial here. He's locked up themselves onto a very convincing attacking half of 4-2. And I think ViZN are going to be licking their wounds a little bit coming into the second half. I gotta say, I thought Aspect had done that when he downed the diffuser, and I can see why he went to where he did, so he could try and make use of the C4 across the site to deny a second plant. But maybe go below. You have a rough idea where it's going to be. I'm not sure if the Evil Eye was in the correct spot to be able to ping a plant. Very unfortunate for them, having come back from a 4-3 to put themselves into a 3v2, and then unfortunately just not able to deny it in the last couple of seconds.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Now, locked up here, actually preferring to go to trophy first instead of AVG, so not going kitchen, but again, another team who don't like playing AVG as their first site. And that is a lot of the wall open. So they're doing a really interesting castle setup here, where they're reinforcing these funky half windows. I really like this about Villa, because you don't see structures like this in many other siege maps, where the windows protect a really crucial part of the site and just cut off these really strange angles you can get from outside. I'm not sure if you can, I think from this window you can potentially get an angle all the way through, but I'm not sure how much use that is to the attackers. I've seen quite a few setups where these walls are open, but not usually on both sides like that. And now, ViZN, it looks like they're going to send the Ash below just to try and clear it out. I wonder if they'll have someone droning for her. It does look like Expert is the designated droner. There are two people on the drones at the moment, so this is coordinated from ViZN. And they really do have it cut out against them here to turn what is a notoriously defender-sided map around. I have seen it happen. I have seen the rare matches in Pro League where both teams win attacking rounds more often than defensive sides. Ash and IQ just left here to go below and just do so much harm. Considering the Thatcher advantage play, I'm really surprised that Locked Up are choosing not to challenge this. And again, we're seeing another team, where they are just setting up on site, and all 5 of them are playing nearby, just investing into this utility, just hoping they can waste enough time without having to roam. Jaeger there actually doesn't do any damage onto the sledge. He was holding quite a nice angle, but he just gets punished for it. KM does get lit up. It's very, very risky here from a Thermite. But the wall is open, I suppose, and he is challenging the Echo, so it's not necessarily going to work out that badly for him if he does take this engagement. And that is a lot of utility getting dumped into this walking spot. I should imagine that Pro Hard Gun is feeling a little bit dizzy, although he has vacated it by the looks of it, so I'm not sure if the attacker are aware that they had actually left the walk-in a little bit earlier than that.
A bomb has been located.
Or KM with the sweep across. And that's the angle that I was talking about, which is open because of this setup. Moon with a pistol headshot? I'm not quite sure what Moon's going on today with all of these Deagle and pistol headshots. Ash in an absolutely crucial spot, getting the kill onto Hades, opening the site wide up as she's just managed to get into trophy. Edge up going off somewhere, and ViZN looking really confident on this attack. And just Natix in the 1v4 situation with the ump, yeeting his impacts and actually killing the Ash in the process.
Are activating the bomb diffuser. Defenders have located the diffuser.
And we have seen 5 out of 7 rounds on Villa go to the attack so far. I think I'm witnessing a miracle here. Especially considering that Echo and Maestro are both on the board. There's so much utility the defenders could be using. And Echo was in play there, but he's playing so aggressively. Let's see if that was just a flash in the pan, or if this actually continues to be attacker-sided. Locked Up doing a bit more of a traditional 20-second meta with the Castle and the Maestro in play, but not really doubling up on it. There's no Wamai in play. No Goyo. I can understand the desire for a C4, and the double roam makes sense, I suppose. I just wonder if they could do a little bit more to embed this strat with utility to break down.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So AVG, we've seen it once so far, I believe. I, for one, am quite surprised at how unpopular it is, and I wonder if him going to kitchen is actually what's causing this to be more attacker-sided. It is, as far as I'm aware, the third site for most teams. I don't know the stats behind it. I don't know if it is typically more attacker-favoured than the other sites, but I am surprised that it's coming out so soon from both teams.
10 seconds left before insertion.
It's been 50-50 in this match so far, so Trophy Statue has seen a lot more play than the other sites.
Out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Broadway barricaded. Drone activated. I've reinforced the wall. Reload.
Drone's up and running.
Vision here, I'm not sure if they're aware of this kitchen or not. I assume they are, but they are taking huge amounts of the map. Going in through walk-in, main entrance, study. They really are just trying to roam clear the whole map, which is potentially going to backfire on them, considering there's no one playing over there and they're wasting seconds of this round without actually taking anything crucial. Ix only just got onto the 90, 45 seconds gone, and there wasn't a single roamer playing on the AVG side. I just wonder if they could have skipped that and saved themselves a bit of time, but maybe the thoroughness will come back and help them at the end of the round. The pings are coming out here onto Moon, who's playing upstairs with the Maestro. Seems very weird to me here. Zeri does get the kill onto Aspect, so that's the IQ off the board. Moon does get finished off, so equal trade for the entry here. Expert, I don't think he was droned. I think that was just sheer luck in regards to that gunfight going one way or the other. Unfortunate there for Zeri, but good aim from Expert. And once again, Locked Up just struggling to get these defenses. I wonder if they're going to try and impact trick this, so it looks like they've just given up on it. And this castle barricade isn't going to last 2 seconds if Sledge wants to get it open. So this castle's playing a very, very dangerous game here. Relying on cover from utility, which could be gone in a couple of seconds' time. Does go for the flank. I'm wondering if... I'm not sure if Expert reacted to that very quickly, but... Natix is just outright running away. Trying to flank up the stairs. The guy is watching him. The Ash does get the kill, and Pro Hard Gunner left in a 1v4 situation. Gets the headshot onto the Ash. And the Sledge. He's got a good gun here. If he's able to reload, he's got 50 round magazine. And he's turned it into a 1v1 situation from a 1v4. For 1v4 clutch from Pro Hard Gunner. Showing the potential of Ella's gun here. And Locked Up at the moment are just winning their clutch situations. It really is changing this map. That could have been 4-4. It could have been 5-3 division by now if the clutches had gone the other way. And we do finally see AVG coming out from Locked Up, who did not deserve that round until Pro Hard Gunner carried them to it. As a team, I don't think their strategy worked. Just hitting all of the shots at the right time from Pro Hard Gunner. I think if there's a highlight reel for this week, I think that Moon and Pro Hard Gunner have put themselves into it. Hades on 1 and 6. Now, so is Rash, to be fair, and I thought they were both fraggers, but I suppose they're playing a little bit of a flex role here.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I wonder if this Rook is a comfort picker, if they are using the impacts for tricking. Nope, that's the impact tricking out the window. And ViZN are leaving, so I'm just going to clip this quickly. So I'm going for a rehost here. So just setting up a lobby again, we are going to go back in at, I believe it was 5-3. Just going to check with the players.
Deze winnen.
So, Thatcher, Jackal, Elysian, Mirror. You guys are sticking the same sides, aren't you? So ViZN is orange, okay. So ViZN, locked, 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 locked.
It's sad to see people roasting to get us out of our momentum.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Membury, you saw the clutch of me and Jens?
Yes, I did. It was mental.
Jongen, moe, jij hebt geen ene tyfus gedaan. Dat was alleen maar Jens.
Die clutch ervoor autist.
Yeah. Oh. Ik dacht die clutch van
Wat
Jens.
heb jij gedaan? 1 op 5? Dacht ik al.
Haha, 1 op 6 eigenlijk. Maar haha.
Hallo, Rash. Ah ja, voilà. En hij is weg. Rash.
Yeah?
Hello. How you doing?
Hey. Fine, what about you?
Ah, fine, jongen. You know me, yeah, digga.
I'm so worried I'm going to get this round history wrong.
It's 2 times them.
Yeah,
me,
it's
they won 1 time.
It's their defensive site picks. So I've got 2 orange wins on their defenses. So I've got 2 orange wins first of all, and then 4 blue wins. And then I've got blue wins, so locked up 1 an attack onto trophy, and then orange defense. So have I got that the wrong way around? I have.
No,
yeah.
no. It's wrong. Eh? Orange didn't won last round. Huh? We won, eh?
Yeah. So
what?
I'm
listen
so confused.
to me. Listen to me. 2 times orange, yes. 4 times blue. 1 time orange. 1 time blue.
It's the last two. I'm trying to remember which way around they were.
We won kitchen, we lost trophy.
Who is talking?
We won kitchen. we won kitchen. As last round. Yeah, last round.
No, we lost. We won aviator last round. So, but that telt hij of niet? Waren die te laat of zo? Nee.
No.
So.
Nee, jongen,
We won kitchen last round.
So blue won kitchen is the last round. Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's the only thing.
I'm getting confused because of the last thing I remember was Moon clutching around on trophy, so I felt like the last win on trophy was Moon's side, but it's not. The last win on trophy was Vision's side.
We won. That was an attacking round.
Yeah.
But I had a deagle so I can run faster. like Naturo.
It was Deagle against Deagle, but Deagle won.
Indeed. Deagle won. Dickie won.
Dickie Deagle won.
Dick, what?
Whereas... Wacht, who are you missing? Oh, wait.
Hey, wat is dingen?
Yo, Lemon, I know you want to be on our team, but can you please just switch?
Like, we are already okay with like roasting to get us out of our momentum, but please go to the other side.
Oh, wisselen bij hem?
Wait, what did I just say?
Jens, wissel.
Ja, rustig.
We willen hem niet.
Okay. Expert, you ready?
Yes.
How the fuck
yes.
did I
They shouldn't
Okay,
have a
cool.
pause when it's rehost.
Yep, okie doke.
Good luck.
Yeah, have fun. Okay, we are hopefully back in at 5-3. Yes, and I'm praying that I've got the round history correct, and that will mean that kitchen is locked off for them. So I think they need to go back to AVG, which they are doing. I'm worried that they're struggling to pick their operators here. I'm not sure how much of this was intentional. Very little of it by the looks of it. Nook and Blitz coming out from Vision, I can only assume that was an accident. I think both teams had issues there when neither of them loaded in time.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So that is unfortunate, as both teams here are running operators who they weren't intending. But I'm happy because I get to see a Nook, and I really want to see if they actually have any use of her. Expert is just messaging in the chat saying that they couldn't pick their operators. It was on both sides, so from what I saw it looked like 2 players on each side didn't get to pick their operator, so it worked out fair in the least fair way possible. I'm not sure if we still got 12 people watching at the moment. We'll see how much difference the rehost makes. I think Locked Up were a little bit concerned it could swing the momentum, which, having seen the clutches which are coming out, I can understand Vision wanting to take a break. And I've seen it in Pro League a few times, so I do wonder if teams sometimes force a rehost to try and take that mental break, which you're not able to get outside of a LAN environment, but got no evidence to suggest that at the moment. And to be fair, you can't. It happens in Pro League. I think it's a legit strategy at some points just to try and force a rehost. Controversial, yes. We see it fairly often, yeah. Four people on site here. Smoke playing near the bookshelves. I think this Pulse is actually soloing me, which is really brave. Sitting very far off site with the shotgun. I'm not sure if he wanted the shotgun, or if that is just server lag which caused that, but he's rocking it, so let's see how it works out for him. Failed nade off of the ceiling there from Manuk, who I'm not sure if she was lit up by her own teammate. Goes for an incredible floor bang. I'm assuming she was getting a ping or a very accurate call out for that. that is the smoke picked off. The Nook here, pushing up the staircase. It doesn't look like she's being heard. Obviously, being a Nook, that is intentional. And a lovely shot. She pushes it into sight here. Almost gets the double kill. Lights up the Jaeger. Moon does get one kill as a Claymore trades it back and forth, but I think we're in a 2v2 now as Moon does down the diffuser. This reinforcement being left from the bookshelves angle is making Moon have to keep an eye on this. He does have a diffuser down here. He's been droned out, so it's going to be crucial if he's able to get this kill or not. And he's wide peeking around in sight, so he does see the IQ. Lights are up. Oh, sorry, no. I think that it doesn't actually hit any shots on there, which surprises me. And Gunner gets picked off, leaving Moon in the 1v2 situation. Here's the barbed wire getting rattled on the study door. I'm not sure if his IQs are going to be able to... They're actually both funneling in through this door, which surprises me. One of them needs to go around and make use of the second angle, which Moon's anticipating. He knows where the diffuser is, he knows how much leeway he's got, but misses the shots on the IQ, and we do see it go 5-4 here. Vision picking up an attacking round where both teams had to adapt, and I gotta say the Nook actually really worked. Just giving them a split second where they were able to walk past that shield. I doubt we'll see that replicated though. Locked up, going back to AVG. I think we've seen about 3 defense wins so far. Villa rocking out a 60% attacker win rate, which is not something I expected to be saying. So, apart from a pulse, they are running more or less the same strat. The Echo actually being 6-picked onto, so the pulse from the last round does look like it was an accident. And sadly, we do see the Nook dropped
Attackers need to locate
in favour of a more conventional Ash. I did wonder for a second if Ick would be tempted to go back on that, but alas no. I feel like he's going to be really annoyed that I called him Ick instead of IQ main the entire round, but oh well. And they're not moving any reinforcements off site by the looks, so they're just relying on all of the site walls. I don't think they're reinforcing anything downstairs either.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I gotta say, I don't think either team has made full use out of Villa so far. They've had a lot of defenses where all 5 players have been near to site. There's not really been any duo roams that have really stretched out and made use of a full map. Now, if this heads to a 6-6, I think it'll be one of the most remarkable games of Villa I've watched. I gotta say, both teams do seem on par with each other. They're both struggling on their defenses, which I wonder if they're just lacking a little bit of scrim practice, whether or not they've got these strats actually worked out fully.
A bomb has been located.
And they just know this player's playing on bookshelves. And once you know the vertical angle, it's really not that difficult to get rid of them. Ash just running underneath that vertical line from a bar running down. Gets the wrong angle onto the bookshelf. And that is both Ash charges wasted. Although she does get a kill up onto the Kaid, I think was over peeking a little bit too much. So I say wasted because the Evilizer is still going to be up. I suppose they have got the grenades to make use of that, but they're going to have to be very careful with their projectiles. Gunner down here at the moment, just roaming in the toilet. Seems to have gone undetected. He's got the drone next to him. Decides just to leave it as he sneaks around here. 2 drones actually on his flank. 2 drones there. Nobody watching them. And I suppose you've got nobody dead, so it makes sense to, but they're just not watching their flank. If you're not going to rely on a drone, at least cover your back. And maybe it could just miss a couple of shots, but Moon turns it into 4v3. Breaching the bar wall here. Attackers got a lot of control over study and bookshelves, but again, nobody seems to be watching this main stairs flank, and I'm just wondering if... Okay, the Nomad has actually air-jabbed it off this time. And Zeri has gone to hide in a corner. which is understandable. The IQ is still up though, so it's a brave decision, leaving them in a 3v3 situation in sight. Echo close enough now, but he could actually come back if needs be. So wise decision there from Zeri. And KM's just staring into his smoke grenades. He's just got to bide his time here. Only one smoke canister left, but the Echo. It looks like one of the Echo just get caught. And KM gets down as he walks into R. Finish off by the smoke canister. Aspect and Rash in a 2v4. Still hunting these Yokas down. I think that's both Yokas off the board, but it's wasting so much of their time. The Jaeger just caught unaware. Does get down. 3v2. Rash attempting the plant. It's a lot of pressure on Aspect here to cover so many different angles. I think he's struggled to do it, and unfortunately that does leave Rash in the 3v1. Gets a kill onto the Echo. This would be another amazing clutch coming out if he manages to win this, but no. Locked up once again, winning the clutch situations, and Moon steals the points from Hades, who doesn't seem to care about it too much. And Moon, coming straight out of this rehost, has carried on the same form that he was showing throughout the defense. Does take it to match point here for Locked Up. I gotta say, this is the closest match I've casted so far. I do think ViZN have a huge amount of potential, and Locked Up are definitely one of the top teams, so I'm not surprised to see them just about breaking into the lead. But I think ViZN at the moment are further down in the league than they should be. Moon's been going for a wide variety of... he's been swapping between the Maestro onto a roaming role, which is quite strange to see, but... Gunner actually coming off the Jaeger onto the Maestro, and they have a lot of flexibility and Locked Up in terms of their roles.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I think Locked are a little bit more flexible than ViZN. ViZN seems to be having Ick and Aspect playing on the frag roles for the most part. KM's been doing their support work throughout the entirety of this game. And once again, we see the double UMP combo coming out on Kitchen, the Castle and the Pulse. In fact, we're seeing a really similar setup here from Locked Up.
Seconds left.
I do wonder if the PS4 community is sometimes a little bit of an echo chamber. Strats which one team runs becomes very popular with several teams, and then you see the same strats being run
out to locate a bomb and defuse it
by a multitude of different players. But slight variations here. No hatch reinforced above laundry. Oh, and they actually are reinforcing the bedroom wall now, so not sure if they're going to get all three of them, but slightly different hold here coming out there. Once again, ViZN look like they're trying to roam clear the entire map, which I can't actually remember last time if that worked out in their favour or not. I think they actually, this is a round where the run out there from Jaeger just completely interrupting what I'm saying. Ignore me, Zeri's just talking all over me. Yeah, I think this is actually the round where Pro Gunner clutches Ella, so the attackers definitely were losing a lot of time, and they unfortunately here have struggled to get in the building. I think they may have lost their head a little bit, lost a little bit of focus from that Jaeger run out, and they need to take a breather in between maps, I think, because that is the kind of match point situation which is just going to put them in a bad mood, and they've still got Theme Park here. I'm convinced that they can get Theme Park. I think it will be another close game, but we're going to have to see how they finish this map first. Expert and Nick do have control of the top floor. They've not recovered the diffuser yet. Oh, the Jaeger's actually just hiding and walking, and Expert, seemingly unaware, does walk in and get the kill on the Jaeger, who was playing very cheeky there and gets punished for it.
Attackers have recovered.
No hard breach left on the board, so they have the top floor control. They've got the vertical pressure, but they are going to have very little to work with. Just the side doorways, which are... This is probably the strength of Kitchen, I would say. If you're able to stop them breaching any walls, then the site entrances are so narrow that A cheeky nade coming out, dropped here through the floor. The server lag nearly making that backfire on Expert. It's a shame that I think the server is having a little bit of issue throughout this game. And Expert gets finished off there. It is IQ or Ick in the 1v4. I'm gonna have to ask him in between the games how to pronounce his name.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
1v4, 35 seconds left. I think we all know which way this is heading. Unless it can pull off a 1v4 clutch. And he drops down into the basement. He is caught between a reinforcement and a castle barricade. And I think that... and now an Elamine. And if ViZN at this point aren't feeling frustrated, I don't know what they are feeling, because this has just been a really unfortunate round for them to finish off the game. And another castle barricade and barbed wire, and honestly, sit in a corner and take a breather. You've got Theme Park, just recuperate. GG's coming out here to both teams who have put forward a very attacker-favoured Villa, but Locked Up do take a 7-4. It's been a very fun game to cast. I must say there's been some really good clutches coming out from Locked Up, and ViZN really were not that far behind the entire time, but they do cede the defeat in the end. We are on to Theme Park next. Moon had a very good game there. We'll see if it carries on throughout the second. And I think Pro Hard Gunner played very well up until the rehost, which unfortunately isn't captured on that.
Just cam set up on that round, you know. If there's a guy to be running out through there, you know, and you have a preset cam, you should be calling this before.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
not
sorry,
after
bro.
the game.
I'm not gonna do it.
Good half, guys. You guys get
Anyways.
ready to... I'm assuming everyone wants to go straight into Theme Park because the match is
Yeah.
delayed, so I'm just going to start
How the
it.
fuck did I won
But...
before you guys with Ella? What the fuck?
Oh, man.
That's just
Oh my gosh,
I called that whole
I don't
clutch.
even know how
but-
you've done it, man.
Start.
Yeah.
Oh, you're amazing.
Have fun,
man.
guys.
Alright, good luck, have fun.
Die mannen zijn echt...
So, on to Theme Park here, and this is my first time ever casting Theme Park, so the callouts are going to be fun. I have been playing it a little bit in ranks and scrims, so I know it fairly decently, but it is going to be weird spectating it. We do see ViZN again on the defense, getting the first ban. They ban out the Thermite. Now, I don't think Thermite's quite in the meta on Theme Park. Milosh, if you listen to him, suggests that Maverick is the go-to. Depends if you get behind that or not. There is still obviously Habana and Maverick. We potentially will see the decline of Thermite bans with Ace coming in a couple of seasons' time. But for now, it's a very interesting ban. With Thatcher coming out as well, so I think we're going to see probably Maverick Habana coming out for a majority of these rounds. Thermite Thatcher, best friends, but not friends of both teams here. Now let's see if Locked Up once again ban out this Elysian, and I think it is just to aid Moon's playstyle where he plays for Monty, and yeah, they do not like the Elysian in the slightest. It'll be interesting to see if they struggle with Melusi when she comes in. It's been suggested with their similar playstyles. Melusi able to just slow down attackers coming into certain areas in a similar way to having Goo Mine stopping them coming in. So potentially if you want to stop Moon in a couple of seasons time, just whack a Banshee, that's the name of it. Whack a Banshee in one of the 6 areas of the map that he actually goes to. But one looking at the Astro Repel. So Army Throne coming out here first from ViZN. And I am going to have a little moan about the fact that nobody here has a tag, because it does make it really annoying. So yeah, Maverick Cabana coming out from the attack, the Jackal to aid with the roam clear. I like having the Nomad, because it means you can roam clear and then just set up your flank and not have to assign a person to watching it, which I think is crucial on Theme Park, because you need to take certain parts of a map and then just flank watch them.
Attackers need to locate
Now,
and defuse as many
I
bombs
have not
as they
seen
can.
very many games in Sin League actually played on Theme Park. I'm not sure if it's actually the first game or not. I've not personally watched any other Theme Park matches. So I'm intrigued to see what the PS4 meta is like. I'm assuming there'll be a lot of copying PC, which of course is fairly normal, but every now and then you do see a team on PS4 like the old Crown Gaming or Team Misalignment have had some interesting strats recently. I'm not sure if they're quite on the same level as the strats that we saw a couple of years ago.
5 seconds left.
I do think back to the old Nexus A days and wonder what their strats would look like in comparison. Not sure what happened to Nexus A. I think they all just probably got accused of M&K and left.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
So, 4 of the attackers spawning around on this side. I'm not sure if the buck here, Zeri, solo entering in through Cafe. Now, he's joining for himself. This is a really interesting part of Theme Park. Do you go for the solo entry? Because this is an extremely risky playstyle, which... Oh, he's so close to losing his drone. And that is his only way of getting intel onto this Mozzie. He somehow sneaks it past, sneaks it through the doorway, and he's a little bit impatient about taking it through the corridor and loses his drone to it. Which is a real shame here for Zeri, who up until that point had been doing a really good job of just entering in the cafe. And Hades, I think he may have fallen off a roof. Sloppy there from Hades, not quite sure how that happened. And the Jackal opening some really nice angles here, all the way across the break room. It's a really nice long angle. But he gets punished by the Jaeger. The Mute definitely wasn't aware of that. And we're actually in a 3v3, but there's 2 players downed and they're getting rezzed up. So back to a 5v3, which is unfortunate here for Locked Up, but I mentioned at the end of Villa about how Vision could be in a bad mood. I think going on to defense first on Theme Park really is going to level that out for them. These rounds are so stacked in MFA, especially Armory Throne on the first round. Maybe not so much once we go to Initiation Drug. I personally think Bunk Daycare is quite defense-sided as well, but the attackers here have just busted into sight. I gotta say, this is very confident coming out from Locked Up, who are just trusting each other to get into sight and play for refrags. Hades has managed to get the plant down, so they still don't have a man advantage, but they got a little bit of HP to work with. Turns it into a 1v2, I believe. Hades inside still. Got 2 good guns to work with here, so may have to reload his primary at some point. If you get the kill on this Jaeger, it'll be crucial, and he doesn't do it. And that is Locked Up, unable to hold on to the post-plant situation. Okay, I'm here, just defusing it, taking the first round towards Vision, who get the expected and mostly deserved defensive armor throwing. They did have a little bit of a scare on their own, though, with 2 players getting downed, but pulling it back together and denying the post-plant situation. So Bunk Daycare next. Vision playing a lot more default site rotation than they did on Villa. We're not seeing Drug Lab busted out first, although I do think it's a viable site, having seen SSG and TSM playing different variations of it, where you hold upstairs for a little bit, then you drop down into Armory Throne, and then you fall back. And it's I've got to say, I think one of the aspects which is making Theme Park so defender-sided at the moment is that there's 4 viable bomb sites. Over time, we might see one of them drop off and become unplayable, but I don't think the attackers have worked out any 4 of the bomb sites yet. Any of the 4 bomb sites yet, sorry.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Vision here, expanding out into Initiation Office. I think Chaos were the first team to do this in Pro League, as far as I'm aware at least, and it really has become a meta just to leave this bunk wall open. And when to be honest, when you look at it from an attack point of view, if you get this wall open, it doesn't really offer you much. You're still walking into a crossfire from the site rotates and the yellow corridor door. You've got break room to worry about, and you've also got the arcade doorway to worry about, so it's understandable to leave that open. It just depends if you can waste enough time on this Initiation Office side, which with the castle set up, they really are just surrendering this first third, but they're going to waste a lot of utility or they're going to expand a lot of utility just to stop the attackers getting an early entry in. And now again, once they're locked up, they've got 2 nades, but they're not running an Ashe or a Zofia, and Havana can get rid of a castle barricade, granted, but if ViZN were playing maybe Jaeger, Wamai, Goyo, and then Maestro, they really would be struggling to get through all of this. And I am not a fan of seeing the Maverick using his torch when a Jackal's on the board with a shotgun. That's sloppy utility. The Maverick, if you could use it correctly, you can get 2 walls open, and it's just a little bit rash from them. Jaeger here playing very aggressive. I think I'm not sure who it was on the upside down rappel, but he got picked off from it. It's a 4v3. Locked Up have made a very confident entry into Arcade by the looks of it. I'm not sure if they've actually got a player inside. I'm not sure how Natix has done this. He's just kind of walked in. Now ViZN playing the retake, which 3v2, it's not working out for him so far. Aspect, the only one up on the side of ViZN. And unaware of these break angles, he's got to retake this site, which I just said about it's so difficult because you're walking in with different crossfires, and now he is the one on the wrong side of it. And loses to the yellow corridor, and that is 1-1. Not a very good defense coming out here from ViZN, who just didn't seem to be watching. I think it must have been the waiting room side where the Maverick was able to just walk in. I'm not quite sure how locked up pulled that off so quickly, but we are seeing them go back to bunk daycare. One of these teams did mention about not having strats for theme park. I'm not sure if it was ViZN. They certainly looked like they had a strat for Armory Throne. It was a bit more plausible to me that they don't have bunk daycare at a good standard. Similar setup coming out. I think they've dropped the Maestro for the smoke. I assume they'll be expanding out into Initiation Office again, so I would like to see one of these teams try a different site at some point. I want to see some Drug Lab get played. I'm just checking everyone's pings, because I've seen a lot of players looking to have a few issues with it. They're all looking like they're around about 60 ping or less. So I'm surprised to see people lagging back and forth. I'm assuming it's something on Ubisoft's end at the moment, unfortunately. Expert in particular looks like he's having a bit of a rough time with it.
10 seconds remaining.
So, it looks like the same castle setup. I'm not sure if this is pre-planned. I'm assuming that this is an intentional
Attackers are
strat.
heading out to defuse a bomb.
ADS up and running.
Initiate jammer!
Swapping max!
The attackers doing a very split push here, which is very... It worked out quite effective from last time. It's very difficult to make use of the entire map on Membury. It's very difficult to be able to be confidently clearing the whole thing, so it's brave for them to try and split up into two different groups and just rely on each other to drone for themselves. Nobody going on the break room rappel yet, I don't think, which is quite a crucial aspect of the map control they got in the last round. KM's already been lit up. I'm not sure which angle he was contesting. I gotta say, I think this is the first time I've casted a best of two and the teams have been on par with each other in regards of this could easily go to 6-6 and it could be a very long game again.
The attackers bomb diffuser
Moon here, not taking the correct utility, having to waste a smoke canister just to try and get this castle barricade by meleeing it, and he's losing so much HP to the canister. Hades, while I'm saying that, does get an opening kill. Opening a very long angle into sight here, and ViZN just falling so quickly. They do manage to get a couple of kills, so they trade off a couple of them, but just like that, locked up, taking the second round, and what started as a strong first defense for Vision is just falling off a little bit here. I'm assuming they're going to go back to Army Throne, and I hope after that they have a third site they can go to, because they, twice in a row, have not looked confident on bunk daycare. They've only managed to get 4 kills across 2 bunk daycare defenses, so something not quite right for them there. It looks like positioning. Their utility looks like it's planned and looks to be in the right spots, but they just aren't watching the correct angles. And that seems to me like a little bit of inexperience on theme park. This could be a crucial round here for Vision, as coming off the back of the manner in which they lost a couple of clutches on Villa, and the final round where they got ran out on, their mindset's going to be very difficult. I'm hoping that they manage to keep their focus, but if theme park isn't a good map for them and they do find themselves losing bunk daycare frequently, it could cause some issues going into an attacking half, knowing that they've lost their defenses on Villa, knowing they've lost their defenses on theme park. They had a glimmer of hope in that they had a couple of good attack rounds on Villa, but ultimately it's going to get to them eventually.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I don't know the guys in Vision particularly well. I'm not sure if they are the type to tilt or if they are able to just put it aside and focus on the round by round kind of mentality. Playing here with the blue hatch open, so they've got the potential to roam quite heavily and try and drop down into it. The attackers here look like they're just about to jump straight into maintenance, which vertical angles above I think have been created, but they're not actually being used. So Natick here might just need to call the bluff and start working on this. He gets a crucial angle up into Rasha, who dies on the throne, and the triple breach here coming out from locked up, who are just walking into sight and planting already. And Vision, this is what I mean. What's going through their comms right now? How are they dealing with this? They're playing on the retake again. They've got themselves into a 3v3. The time ticking down against them, as they did just let the attackers of locked up walk straight into the throne and plant. And so many angles in throne here to contest. This really could go either way, as the Jaeger gets yeeted across the floor, and 3-1 here for locked up, who put themselves on a roll here. And Vision not looking confident, just holding down the site at the moment. I would imagine we'll see them go back to Armory Throne, but warning signs here for Vision, who just seems to have this slipping away from him a little bit. I'm not quite sure what was going on with the bandit. Didn't seem to be on the wall. I'm not sure if the person, I can't remember who it was now. Somebody walked straight into sight. I think it might have been, I'm assuming it might have been Hades or Zeri, who just kind of walked in through the throne doorway and got injured, but I'm not sure if they did enough damage just to get that wall open in the background. And whoever was upstairs as the mute wasn't making use of the vertical angles in control, and even though the angles were open, you've got to make use of them.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So, difficult position here for Vision, who, on a defender-sided map, find themselves already 3 rounds down. They need to come back and win their next 2 defenses to even salvage this half, let alone the entire game. With that said, we saw them go only 2 rounds of attack on... Sorry, only 2 rounds of defense on Villa, and they did seem competent to attack, so it won't be the end of the game, but I'm not sure out of Villa and Theme Park which is the more defender-sided. I'd probably say Theme Park at the moment. I think over time we'll see that Villa is probably more defender-sided, but teams just haven't worked out Theme Park. And this is very, very early stages of watching it in competitive play. So, Aspect here seems to have all of his bandits down straight away, which I suppose with the Thatcher Thermite ban makes a lot of sense. Just leave it, but does mean if the bandits get taken off a wall, then that is kind of it. Hades being overconfident in this lockers angle, and the attackers I think just rushing this a little bit. And I know that that's what they were trying to do last round, but I think ViZN have adapted quite well and taken the early gunfights, and this really has worked out for ViZN here, who find themselves in a 4v1. Pro Hard Gunner has won one of these before, but this time he doesn't have Ella's gun and he gets taken out pretty quickly. So ViZN confident round there, calling out the lockers rush and collapsing onto it to stop it pretty quickly. They've got to get this next round on defense, which I'll be intrigued to see if they go back to bunk daycare. I think it would be a mistake at this point. I think if they've got another site they need to show it. And they do go lab, so let's see if they actually know how this works. I'm not sure if they're just throwing this out for the sake of it. They've got 2 C4s, so they can sit below and try and C4 up, and they've got the smoke and echo to waste time. They go off one of the C4s, so the castle, it gives me hope that they are going to go and try and hold the armory throne area of the map. Moon, I'm not sure if this is an intentional 6-pick, because obviously there's no castle being shown here from ViZN, but it's actually a very useful pick in terms of getting rid of these castle barricades. Perhaps just anticipating that they are taking lab and they would need the vertical destruction. Although I actually think about it, Moon lost a lot of HP last time trying to melee a castle barricade, so it's probably in response to that, but it does work out well here for the attackers who have the utility to get rid of these castle barricades straight away. And that is a slight bit of damage going on to the Jaeger there. A little bit sloppy of a setup, but this does seem like what I consider to be meta hold, where they are expanding out into barrels and throne.
10 seconds to go.
They are hopefully not going to fully reinforce this, because you need to have a little bit of this open to be able to retake this corridor. So slight mistake there, I think, coming up from a setup. That might work out. I've obviously not seen enough of this site to know for certain what does and doesn't work, but when I've seen Rebel and I've also seen SSG and other teams playing this site, they have always left that wall open. Expert here in a very early gunfight, and the sledge seems to have just taken the castle barricade off of the bathroom straight away. He's got a stack of ADSs to keep him safe, but
attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Hostile found. First floor.
the attackers here really not making any attempt to go for a roam clear or anything like that, and I've seen this on several maps now from Locked Up. They really don't like roam clearing. They just force their way into sight with a bit of a mix of Blackbeard, Monty, Nomad. They just kind of come straight at your anchors, and it can throw a lot of teams off. Azeri here does get the opening kill onto the Mozzie, and he's just walked into his bathroom. C4 from the dead Mozzie, unfortunately not going to be able to do anything against these attackers who awkwardly funneled themselves into the bathroom and are getting away with it until that kill from the Jaeger. And now the punishment coming out for what is a relatively lazy, not lazy, but relatively brute force attack.
Device ready. Activating drones.
So, although the attackers have got the man advantage, I don't think they've taken very much map control so far. And minute 23 left, there's still the smoke and the echo on the board. No smoke canisters left in play though, so all down to the echo to deny plant if it does come to that. There's no IQ from Locked Up, so I assume that the Yokais are still active. As Natix does kill off the smoke, and now it's KM on site on his own as Ick is roaming upstairs. And yeah, there is a Yokai in play here, so if he times this right, he can deny the plant. And it's just the Echo left alive. He's going to have a very hard time denying the plant for the rest of this round. He's going to have to time every single one of these Yokai blasts to perfection, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think this Yokai is going to get taken out long before he's able to do anything significant with it. And he gives away his position with a pre-fire, and the silencer not enough there to hide his position as the Maverick swings on him and turns the round and the half in favour of Locked Up at 4-2. And we see it go exactly the same way as Villa went. where the defense of Vision just losing them a little bit of leeway going into the second half of the map. Army Throne here coming up first from Locked Up, which is standard. I'm not fully convinced that it's the best site on the map. It is at the moment because teams are exploring it, but I think a few teams have already shown that busting your way into maintenance with the Maverick can be quite an effective way of just forcing a way into site. And I really am
Defenders, protect your bombs
surprised to see Vision not running the Maverick. I think that could be a fatal flaw from them with only the one hard breach on this site. I'm not sure if they... I assume the thermite ban must have come out from Locked Up in order for that to be the case.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh. The maintenance ward is actually open, so... I don't know if... I don't know if Vision have just done their homework here and know that they like to leave that wall open and maybe doubling up on the soft breach because of that. If so, that is a 1000 IQ play, but I'm not sure if the... I feel like that's not intentional. I feel like they're just not running a Maverick because they're not comfortable on it. It could work out in their favour. The Sledge here could bust open the castle barricades and this wall and just replicate what the Maverick would be doing. Echo already over on the other side of the map. I'm not sure if this is roaming or just hiding. And nobody on the top floor here from Locked Up, so they clearly like just playing over on the drug lab side.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
KM has disconnected. It is already 40 seconds into round, so if they leave, this is going to be a defeat for them. Hopefully KM will come back before the end of the round. It's unfortunate here for Vision, who haven't really had a chance to explore this attack before already losing a person, and Natix reinforcing this wall. Risky to do so, but it does cost Vision, who lost their Habana as well, which is really unfortunate. So KM has come back, but I can imagine the frustration on their side from that is going to be immense.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
And I think that... I don't want to say that's a reason why you should run a second hard breach, because nobody should ever plan around a player disconnecting, but even if you just got spawn peaked or something like that, not running the second hard breach on this map, in my opinion, with the thermite ban, doesn't make much sense to me.
Swapping mags.
Rash, expert and aspect here, trying to clutch this round, but one of the most defender-sided objectives in the game currently. No hard breach, one nade to try and get a kill from, and it does dislodge the castle, who actually gets team killed as a result of having to move out of the way, so useful nade coming out there, but not going to reflect well on the scoreboard for Vision, who find themselves 2v4.
I'm reloading.
35 seconds left here, they've dropped the diffuser, so they've got to try and retrieve this. They know Viega's position, not quite able to get the kill, he does just lay down, and cheeky play there coming out from Hades. Does give a kill onto the Echo. Now in terms of momentum, this would massively swing if they manage to clutch this round, but I just don't think it's going to happen, even though Locked Up are getting extremely aggressive here and giving away a few opportunities to lose gunfights, but they do take the round, unsurprisingly on a defense where hard breach is so important and the only hard breach taken by the other team disconnected, which is massively unfortunate for Vision, and I do want to give them a shout out for just sheer bad luck in this game so far. So we see Initiation Office next from Locked Up, not going to the bunk daycare site. Monty coming out here for vision, and I think Monty is, in my opinion, very important if you're only going to run with one hard breach, because it does let you just walk through these narrow doorways and just force defenders to move. The Ying coming out as well, so this is stressful operators to deal with for the defenders. But I think Locked Up are going to have the mental
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Mental strength, sorry, to be able to deal with this. And Moon himself is a very prominent Ying and Monty player, so having his own medicine dealt against him a little bit here potentially, but I would imagine he knows how to counter him as well. I suppose they are banning the Lesion, so the Monty's going to become even more powerful, as is the Ying, arguably, who's going to be able to just throw in her Candelas and not have to worry about getting caught in a goo mine.
10 seconds left.
They have left this site wall soft. I don't know if this is intentional. It's really interesting if it is.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
It does look to be fully intentional because they've reinforced 4 sets of double walls in the 2 initiation walls, the office wall, the cache wall. Then they've reinforced a single wall in this dragon corridor, and they've also reinforced the yellow stairs to office vault wall. So I'm intrigued. I want to know what their thought process is behind this. Do they just think that it's another situation where you breach this wall and you walk into a multitude of crossfires? Because from my perspective, once you've cleared out this office vault, you get through this site wall and you get quite a nice plant spot. But Zeri playing very aggressive here in cache, which I assume is the basis of this hold. This is a weird hold coming out from Locked Up. I like it, and it's definitely going to pose some questions to Vision, who have to try and break this down. Aspect with the opening kill onto the pulse. And he didn't even have to use a Candela to do so, so he's got all 4 of those Candelas left to play with. Jaeger does get spotted in here. They are just meleeing this castle barricade open. And now the Chaos is about to go. Does get one of them gets caught in an ADS somehow when the others didn't. Expert just kind of walks in here. And I don't think any of those candidates actually did anything, and this is why I think teams overestimate Ying sometimes, because if you don't know how to use the Candelas, you just throw them and they just don't really have any effect. Expert gained a little bit of map control, but that was more from the Monty than the Ying in my opinion, and although they've managed to barge their way into cache and control, sorry, I mean, I'm not really sure this has worked out too well for the attackers. Although, Ick has made a very good play into site here, and we see Prahar Gunner now in a 1v3 situation, and he can only clutch if he has Ella's gun, apparently. Much better attack here coming out from Vision. Maybe just having a little bit more confidence from a Monty and Ying, just to gain a little bit of map control. So we do see bunk daycare now for Locked Up, who are only 2 rounds away from taking all 6 points out of this best of 2. They are busting up the Mute Mozzie combo, which I think the Monty is a perfect counter to be honest with you, because the Expert can just walk past with Mute Jammers and Pests and just call out what he sees on the other side without having to drone it. I think both teams here have over-relied on 2-speed operators. They've taken a lot of the C4 operators that I mentioned earlier, and there's been a real lack of anchor play. The Maestro Echo combos, we've seen Smoke a few times, but not every objective, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more. We haven't seen Goyo once across both maps, I don't think, which is a real shame. Maybe teams just deciding they don't like the 20-second utility meta, and fair enough. If they just want to avoid this and play the Mute Mozzie meta instead, then who am I to judge?
Attackers have located a bomb. 5 seconds left. Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
Second floor.
ViZN here. They're doing fairly similar to what Locked Up did, and just sending one guy to the other side of the map. Perhaps as a bit of a distraction, perhaps a little bit of a solo push, just to try and do some damage. It is very hard to breach if it's gone to the other side, so I'm not sure if it's just a bit of a bait. Now this is definitely one of the strongest points for Monty in my opinion. Walking through Cafe is something so difficult for most attackers to do, but the Monty can just put up his shield and go for it. Jaeger here. I thought he was going to go for a kill through the drone hole. I don't think he's aware of the Ying playing right next to it. I don't know if he could actually get the angle onto her feet. She is on her drone. And now he's aware of this Monty, so... And this is the dilemma for defenders. You see the Monty look at you, and what do? Do you just back off, or... I'm just begging here for Zeri to peek the drone hole. I just want to know if he had an angle, but the Ying has moved now, so we're not going to see that kill come out. Expert... He walked into Cafe and then just kind of stopped. I think he just didn't have the confidence to push on any further, and I'm not sure that his current choice of going back on Baruch was the correct play. ViZN here just looking a little bit lost as to how to get into the map, other than this one guy who seems to be in below. So Bash just kind of walking her way through the bottom of the map. Doesn't seem to be getting droned particularly. I do wonder if they've just become a little bit disconnected. That C4, for a moment I thought was going to catch Expert, but he reacts pretty well to it. And yeah, I don't think the Ash was getting droned for at all there, and that's sloppy coming out from ViZN. Who get absolutely punished by Natex, Hades and Zeri. And now we see Rash in the 1v5, and flawless round coming out. I've got to say ViZN looked absolutely lost on that attack. The Monty just walked into Cafe and then gave up and just didn't want to push any further, and the Ash wasn't getting droned for. I got to say, I don't think ViZN have scrimmed that attack very often by the looks of it. It's a shame here. They got off to a good start on Armory Throne, but then their bunk daycare I think just made this map slip away from them. A couple of defensive wins there would have left us a lot closer. We're on track for another 7-4 here. 2 defender-sided maps in a row where we've seen a lot of attack wins, and I think that's more, having looked at it now, it looks more like ViZN are just not up to scratch on the defenses. Locked Up seem to be going relatively 50-50 across their defenses. And they are going back to Armory Throne, so the Monty's going to make a difference, definitely so. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was the last round of the best of 2 here.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I should imagine Locked Up feeling pretty relaxed at this point. They've got 3 rounds to get the win and walk away with all 6 points.
Attackers have discovered
And
the
they've got some very favourable bomb sites to try and do that with, so probably keen to see this match out as it did start later than planned. Probably want to finish it off fairly quickly.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds remaining.
I gotta say, I stand by the fact that I think ViZN have got a huge amount of potential in this roster. They have a great fragger in Ick, and I think they've got players around him who can also get on the board. I just think they didn't look particularly confident on their defenses, and a couple more strats potentially going their way. They looked pretty well prepared on Villa. They had some really nice ideas with their kitchen hold where they just held the C4s upwards, and their trophy hold where they put the mute in the walk-in. But on Theme Park they did not look comfortable at all on bunk daycare, and then they just started losing a couple of rounds to stupid pushes on Armory Throne, and they unfortunately just kind of lost the match at that point, in my opinion. Theme Park at the moment is not a map where you can afford to be losing 4 of your defenses. It's just a bit too much to come back from, and they're trying their best. Running the Monty really is giving them a lot of avenues to actually get into the map, but the lack of the Maverick is questionable in my opinion, and that is a C4 onto a Monty who gets taken off, and this round is going to be a struggle for Vision to come back into. I'm not actually sure. I think it was Vision who banned out the Thermite. I will need to go back and watch that because they were defending and they banned first. So banning out the Thermite and then not having a person who likes playing Maverick. Maybe they've scrimmed it and they practiced with just Urbana, but I think as a backup, somebody's got to go onto that Maverick role and just Maverick trick open the maintenance wall or something like that. I don't think you can ban out a hard breacher if you don't know how to use one of the other two. Ash here does get some idea that Viega's playing there because of the bullet traces and is actually getting droned in this time, so she's way more coordinated with her team and reaps the benefits of it. She does actually put her team in a position here where they've got the man advantage, so could be a surprising comeback from a 5v3. Oh, and a very tight angle there. Picasso just winning out. I've seen so many impact kills in this game, it's actually unbelievable. Impacts of the new C4s. As Moon does swing around, and unsurprisingly, I think we're going to see him go on the Romas for Maestro, which just, yeah, is working out for him at this point, so makes sense in some ways. Like, that gun is just so powerful, you might as well put it out on the Roma and just do some damage with it. Leave the castle with his ump to try and hold down the site, which he does do. Unable to kill this Havana, but Moon does clutch it up, and that is 7-3 for Locked Up versus Vision on Theme Park, and they walk away with all 6 points of this best of 2. Thank you to the 7 people who've been watching through this whole Theme Park match by the looks of it. I'm going to end the stream here. I've got to say GG's to both teams, and it's been a fun game to cast. Very confident from Locked Up, who do walk away with all 6 points.